Forbidden Afternoon, A Tale of Secret Desires, Chapter 1, The Dangerous Visit. The midday sun blazed mercilessly as Benjamin crept through the banana grove, his heart pounding like a war drum. Looking left and right to ensure no prying eyes watched, he abandoned his bicycle in the thick foliage and slipped through the hedge into Catherine's backyard. The main house lay shrouded in darkness, but the kitchen glowed with warm light. Benjamin's weathered face twisted into a knowing smirk. Catherine's husband Harold would be deep in his afternoon slumber, weakened by the stroke that had claimed his vitality months ago. Crouching low beneath the window frame, Benjamin's shadow fell across the kitchen where Catherine stirred pig feed at the stove. When she glimpsed the familiar silhouette, her breath caught in her throat. "Catherine, it's me, Benjamin," he whispered urgently, his head appearing at the window like a phantom in the night. She nearly screamed, mistaking him for a burglar in the dim light. "My God! You frightened me to death. What are you doing here?" "Harold is sleeping right inside. I know he's sleeping soundly. Come out to the fish pond. I'm alone tonight." Catherine's hands trembled as she set down her ladle. "Are you insane? Keep your voice down. If my husband wakes up, if my daughter-in-law catches us, we're both dead." But Benjamin's eyes burned with dangerous desire. "Just for a little while. No one will know. If you don't come, I might just have to keep visiting here." The threat hung heavy in the humid air. Catherine's face flushed crimson as she hissed back, "You're too reckless. This has to stop before someone gets hurt." Chapter 2, The Heat of Temptation. It had all begun 3 months earlier, during the scorching heat of summer. Catherine had been working alone in the rice fields, her husband bedridden after his sudden stroke. The merciless sun beat down on her like hammer blows until consciousness slipped away, and she collapsed beside the irrigation canal. Benjamin had found her there, face purple with heat exhaustion, her modest work clothes soaked through with perspiration. Without hesitation, he carried her limp form to his fish pond shelter, a small refuge hidden from the world. When Catherine awakened, she found herself alone with a man she barely knew, her work clothes disheveled and clinging to her curves. Benjamin's eyes drank in every detail as he offered her cool water and gentle words. "You're lucky I found you when I did," he murmured, his voice thick with something more than concern. "A woman as beautiful as you, it would have been a tragedy." Catherine felt exposed under his hungry gaze, suddenly aware of how the thin fabric revealed more than it concealed. "I should go home." "Not yet. You need to recover your strength." His hand lingered on her shoulder, sending unexpected electricity through her starved body. "Your husband, his condition, it must be very lonely for you." The words struck like lightning. Catherine hadn't realized how desperately she'd been craving touch. Attention, desire, everything her invalid husband could no longer provide. Chapter 3, The Forbidden Dance. Days turned to weeks, and secret meetings became an addiction neither could resist. The rice fields provided perfect cover for their clandestine encounters. Catherine would slip away from her duties, claiming to tend the crops, while Benjamin waited in his secluded shelter like a spider in his web. Their conversations grew bolder, more intimate. Benjamin's hands found reasons to touch, adjusting her hair, massaging her shoulders, helping her to her feet. Each contact sent fire racing through Catherine's neglected body. "You know," Benjamin would whisper, his breath hot against her ear, "a woman like you shouldn't waste away caring for an invalid. You deserve so much more." Catherine knew she was playing with fire, but she couldn't stop herself. The attention, the desire, the promise of passion, it was intoxicating after years of emptiness. Chapter 4. The point of no return. The inevitable happened on a sweltering afternoon when desire finally conquered conscience. In the intimate confines of the fish pond shelter, with only the sound of lapping water and their ragged breathing, Catherine surrendered to Benjamin's advances. Their lovemaking was desperate, hungry, two people starving for passion finally feeding their souls. Benjamin's experienced hands played her body like a violin, drawing sounds of pleasure she'd forgotten she could make. "I never expected this," Catherine gasped, her inhibitions drowning in waves of ecstasy. "I never thought I could feel like this again." Benjamin's response was to claim her more completely, his weathered body moving with surprising vigor. "You were meant for this, Catherine. Don't deny yourself anymore." Chapter 5. The web of deception. Their affair became a dangerous addiction. Secret glances across the village market, coded messages, stolen hours in the shelter by the pond. Catherine transformed from dutiful wife to cunning adulteress, her whole world revolving around their next encounter. But secrets have a way of revealing themselves. Benjamin grew careless, bold enough to visit Catherine's home even while her husband slept inside. The risk only heightened their passion, but it also sealed their fate, neighbors began to whisper. Catherine's son and daughter-in-law noticed changes, their mother's increased irritability, her frequent absences, the glow that seemed to emanate from her despite her husband's decline. Chapter 6. The trap springs shut, suspicion turned to surveillance. Catherine's daughter-in-law, Elena, began following her mother-in-law's movements with growing alarm. The rumors were becoming too loud to ignore. On that fateful afternoon, when Catherine claimed she was going to market but instead headed toward Benjamin's shelter, Elena's worst fears were confirmed. She called her husband immediately. "David, get to the fish pond now." Oh God, they're together." David arrived just in time to witness his mother and Benjamin in a passionate embrace, their bodies intertwined on the narrow cot. The world stopped. The confrontation that followed was brutal. David's fists connected with Benjamin's jaw while Catherine cowered in shame. Her betrayal exposed in all its ugly truth. Both lovers fell to their knees, begging for mercy, promising never to see each other again. Chapter 7. The bitter price. The aftermath was devastating. Though David and Elena chose to keep the affair secret to protect the family's reputation and spare Harold's failing heart, Catherine paid dearly for her transgression. Her son's eyes held nothing but disgust. Her daughter-in-law watched her every move with cold suspicion. The weight of shame crushed Catherine's spirit, transforming her from a vibrant woman into a broken shadow. To prevent future temptation, David arranged to exchange their rice fields with a distant relative, ensuring Catherine would never again work near Benjamin's domain. Epilogue. Lessons in ashes. Catherine learned to live with her shame, throwing herself into caring for Harold with renewed dedication. The affair had lasted only months, but its consequences would echo through the rest of her days. She never saw Benjamin again. Sometimes, late at night, she would remember the feel of his hands on her skin, the way he made her feel alive and desired. But those memories came wrapped in guilt and regret. The villagers eventually forgot the whispered rumors, dismissing them as idle gossip. But Catherine carried the truth like a stone in her chest, a reminder that some hungers, once fed, demand a price too terrible to pay. In the end, her forbidden afternoon had cost her everything: her son's respect, her daughter-in-law's trust, and her own peace of mind. The passion that had once set her soul ablaze now burned only as shame. A cautionary tale of desire's dangerous power to destroy everything in its path. The human heart, they say, is capable of both great love and terrible betrayal. Catherine learned this truth in the most painful way possible, that sometimes the fire we think will warm us ends up consuming everything we hold dear.